let's talk about how you can manifest more business success, how you can manifest and grow a successful business. And even if your desire right now is not even an own business, you're just interested in manifesting more money, more financial resources in general, then still this video is going to teach you a lot. But especially if you are a business owner, or if your desire is to start and manifest your own business, then you will benefit a lot from this video. Because I condensed all my own observations, all my own learnings, my own pitfalls, everything that I learned after interviewing a lot of people that manifested either a successful business and more success in their business, and people that manifested in general, simply more money, more financial resources, a better job, a higher salary, whatever it is. All of that is condensed in this one video. So I want to make this like the only video you need when it comes to manifesting more business success, more money. And with that, let's just dive right in. And before we talk about the agenda, I want to be very transparent with you. Okay, this little disclaimer, because this video will consist of two parts, two sections. The first section, of course, is going to outweigh the second section, because at the first section, which is like 98%, so majority of this video will talk about value, will be about value, tips, insights, revelation, practical steps, Neville quotes, personal successes, successes from people, what they applied. So that's the bigger section of this video to really help you out and bring you to a shift in your business, bring you to a shift in your money situation. And then the final part of this video will be about some advertisement of my new mastermind. And it's not my new mastermind, but right now we have a new enrollment wave opening up. So if you are a business owner, then that will be specifically relevant for you. So this is how it is going to look like. But again, we're going to talk about that towards the end of the video. So no stress on that. If you're not here for that, if that's not relevant for you, you can skip it. You can end the video when I start to talk about this part. But again, I just say it one more time. If your desire is to manifest more business success, to level up your business to 3x, 5x, even 10x your business income, then this part of this video is going to help you tremendously. All right. So with that, let's just dive right in. And before, again, we jump now into the agenda, again, I want to show you some inspiration. I want to show you some insights, because I did a lot of videos on my channel, either on like my own testings, applications, successes when it comes to money, when it comes to business success. But also I interviewed a lot of people that applied Neville's principles, everything that I teach, that have been like in my program, in my mastermind, and have also achieved incredible results. And by the way, I get some comments like, oh, you know, only people that are manifesting teachers, only they can manifest money, but not the people. That's not true. Like, I work with a lot of people that don't teach manifestation. They have other businesses and they still manifest money in their business. So you don't need to be like someone in the manifesting space to manifest money, right? It doesn't matter in which area you are. So again, I talked with Sophia. She basically went from $8,000 a month, which is already kind of solid, to $22K per month. So that's really cool. And that was not in a mindset business. That was in a kind of like agency. I talked about with Yang. She manifested $180K per month, and she's by now a millionaire. So she really utilized all of these teachings and made herself like really financially stable with those teachings. I interviewed Rob. He 3x his income. I interviewed Jasmine. She basically manifested a huge deal where she got like a commission off. And there's some stories from me, how I took my business from 8K to 80K, and some more money stories, okay? And I'm just showing that to you to portray that, you know, money is important in this world, right? People that just say, oh, I don't need that and all of that. Still, I think that's not true, because in this world, you need financial resources. The question is how you just your desire, right? Some people don't have a desire for more money, don't have a desire for more business success, and that's okay. But this video is for you if your desire is more business success, more financial success. Because that's one important life area next to health, next to relationships, next to emotional and internal well-being. So we should talk about that, right? And this is the agenda of this video. And definitely, this is a video that you should watch till the end, or at least till the part where I'm going to start with the advertisement. You can skip that away if you don't like advertisement. But you need to concentrate. You need to be able to focus on something, because if you're not even able to watch a video till the end, I can almost guarantee you it will also be difficult for you to train your attention, to keep your attention on this feeling of the wish fulfilled, on this desired identity, on this new state that you want to manifest, right? So if you cannot only even watch a 15-minute or 20-minute video, how will you be able to, in a consistent way, like shift into this new identity? It's wavering usually for most people. So the agenda is pretty simple, pretty straight to the point. First, I want to talk with you about how I manifest my first goal, right? How I did that, which was like 10K a month. That was my first desire. That was my first, big thing where I was like, okay, when I achieve this, then this implies to me that some things are going good. I want to talk with you about how I then shifted from this 10K a month to 30 and even to 80K a month. I want to talk with you about how within a time span of, I have to think about like maybe 14, 15 months, kind of in that time span, I manifested 600K via my business. So that's also something that I want to share with you, like how I manifested this bigger picture state. Then I want to give you my advice on how to manifest and grow a successful business, right? What is important when you desire that. And last but not least, I want to share with you the 5 top business owner problems. Like, what is it that I observed in my journey? What is it that I see over and over again? People that want to manifest money, people that want to manifest business success, like the pitfalls, the internal stumbling blocks, basically, that they have alive, so that they don't really see the movement when it comes to money. All right, so with that, let's talk about the first part, which is how I manifested my first goal, the 10K a month. I know that this is a big goal. I know that this is a desire that I shared with a lot of other people, and also other people want like 10K a month because it portrays a certain level of, financial security, but still it's completely up to you. It's completely dependent on how much do you desire, what is your attitude towards money, how much do you want to manifest. So there's no limit, and there's no one telling you this is what you should manifest. But I'm speaking to the people right now that definitely are thinking in this region and that want to kind of like be at those levels. So 10K a month, right? I included a screenshot here, and we're talking about net, right? We're not talking about cross, revenue. We're talking about the net of 10K. This was even 11K, but for me, it's like 10K. So first of all, what I did is I got clear on the end result, right? I did not waver and was like, do I want to have this? Do I want to be this? Do I want to manifest a little bit more money or double it? Like, what do I want? No, I said to myself, when I had zero income, when I had even to take money from the German government, I told myself, I want to make 10K a month. It was just my desire. I had it within me. I wanted to be financially kind of like well-versed, and this is what happened, right? So I defined that because it implied to me it's like a certain degree of financial stability, abundance, being just free and being able to afford certain things. So the end result was clearly defined, 10K per month. And if that's your desire right now, great, then you have already defined that state that you want to occupy, that identity that you now want to throw yourself into. And then I asked myself, basically, the second step of Neville's main technique, what would imply that this already happened, right? What would imply to me personally that I already make 10K a month, right? What would someone say to me? What would I say to someone? How would people see me? How would my attitude towards money and business have changed? And for that, I picked my parents and some friends, and I asked myself, what would they say to me? And one scene, I still remember this really vividly up until this point right now, is that my parents basically congratulated me by saying, wow, Nicholas, we're like really proud of you. Really, really proud of you. And I just heard their voice. I really like felt them internally being in front of me and saying that to me. So I sat down and I basically imagined that, right? I had this internal imaginary experience of this act, which implied that my wish is already fulfilled, until it started to feel natural. And the interesting thing was this, right? Externally, I had no money, no idea what to do, no idea even which business to even start, right? So, but I just went to the end of like, the 10K, and I heard my parents just congratulating me on having achieved that. And I did not hear them tell me, oh, wow, Nicholas, it is so amazing that you have this and this and that. No, I just heard them saying, wow, Nicholas, we're really proud of you, because that implied to me subjectively that this specific goal is now done. So I heard them, and at some point, maybe after a week, maybe after 2 weeks, when I listened to them imaginary, it was no longer giving me a thrill. It was no longer really giving me any satisfaction, because it already started to kind of feel natural for me within. I was kind of already convinced, so it was even boring to continue that scene. And the interesting thing is that externally, I still had the same circumstances, but I was no longer triggered. I was no longer really reactive towards them. I was, in a sense, going with the flow. I got new impulses. And this is really interesting because this is why Neville said, let the state lead. Right? I occupied internally that new state of the 10K. And then through that new state, new automatic actions, new impulses, new ideas came up. But I was led. The bridge started to unfold. Someone recommended me a certain course. And then I did that. And then I got another recommendation. And then this happened. And then this person came into my life. And then I did this. And then eventually, now I'm here. Right? So it unfolded very seamlessly. And this scene, by the way, of my parents telling me that played out exactly as I imagined, which is not the goal here that the scene plays out. It's about that the implication manifests. And the implication for me was the 10K. And that definitely manifested it. So maybe like 5 months before that actually physically was there, I kind of imagined that. So that was how I manifested my first goal, which is the 10K. And you can do the same. And you can do it even the same if you don't have a business, right? For me, it was clear, okay, I want to manifest that through a business because that was my desire to bring value, to help others, to do something online, to to travel, to not be at a job. But even if your desire is to make this much of money and you don't know the avenue, you don't know how it will come, you can still occupy such an end state. You can still start to feel yourself as financially stable, financially well-versed, financially abundant. And then new ideas, new impulses, new actions, new opportunities will open up to you so that this new internal state can express. And now, a really interesting thing was that once I hit the 10K month, I immediately had like a desire for more. Like it was not staying at that. I had like the desire to grow, to be bigger, to manifest more. And that depends from person to person, right? Some people don't have this hunger for more. So you will find out for yourself, but I definitely had. And so I then shifted to 30K a month and also to 80K a month. And as you can see, this is all net, right? We're not talking about cross volume. We're talking about the net volume. And here you can see like the 30K, and you can see like a little bit more than 80K, but I just rounded up to 80K to really show you that this is like from my Stripe account screenshots, right? This is just like tangible stuff. Like I'm just a guy that internally maneuvered myself into those states, into this reality, into this feeling state of what it would be like to have this money coming in, and then it came in. So it's not something that only 3 selected people on this earth can do, or that you see online, oh yeah, they're successful, they have a lot of money. No, you can do the same, but if you only follow once you make the inner shift. And I want to talk with you about how I then, in a sense, went to these new levels. So what I did is, first of all, I used I remember when. So that was something that I used a lot. I asked myself, okay, I remember when I made 10K. I really put myself internally in my awareness. I put myself in the mood, in this state that like 10K is already far away from me. That like 10K a month and this level of income is already no longer who I am. It's already no longer what I identify with, because I started to remember on it. Right? I internally had this self-talk basically. I remember when I made 10K. But it's not the words that is important. It's about the mood, the state, the identity you therefore identify with. You then put your focus on. So I remember when I made 10K, you therefore put that in the past. You put that into no longer identifying with that. And you now start to identify with something new, which in my case was, 30, 80K and going in that higher 5-figure region. Also, I asked myself, how would I see the world now? Right? How would I see the world if I no longer make 10K and that's already like I'm way beyond that. I make way more right now. How would I see the world then? How would I feel? How would I see others? What would my attitude towards money and towards business be in this new identity? Because it's all about your internal attitude towards things that is determining, your actions and your results. And that's the interesting thing, right? If we look at this diagram here, it's super simple. You see that in the core is your state, your identity, your self-concept, because that determines your thoughts and beliefs, your emotions, your reactions, your actions, and of course, the results and manifestations. So once I put myself, in the state of those kind of like income levels, then I kind of started to think like that. I started to feel like that, to see the world from that. My perception changed. I started to act differently because I had to, because I'm bound to act from the state I'm in. And also I got the results that are coming from that state. And that was already existent, right? That state of me making this much, and that state of you doubling your income, doubling your salary, doubling the money that you make right now, that is there, but it cannot manifest, it cannot be tangible unless you first within occupied and live in it. So you have to make the desired state natural, right? So when that was natural for me within, and I no longer perceive these numbers as big and as, oh my God, then it happened without, as a mirror, as a result, as a consequence of my internal shift. So what we're doing is we're selecting an already existing identity. I like this really much, this explanation, because Neville as well said that what we do basically when we manifest is that we reveal a hidden identity that is right now not, manifested, but it is already in existence, and we can adopt it, we can occupy it, we can feel ourselves into that already existing identity here now, make it live. And what we do by that is that we focus on being in that new identity instead of doing something to get that new identity, to get these results in the future. So if you are able to, in the here and now, be that identity, be that version of you that makes 10K a month, that makes X, Y, and Z per month, that is a successful business owner, that, always gets clients, and whatever, you define, whatever your specific desire is, then you need to first be it with them before you can think like that, before you can act like that, before you get the results like that. Okay, so it's all about where do you stand within and how do you see yourself when it comes to business. And that is a nice transition for me to talk about how I basically manifested the 600K within some months, right? So it's not like 1 month, I can already tell that, but maybe 12, 13, 14 months, kind of in such a time period is when I manifested that. And this is what I did, right? So I focused on embodying the state of a financially well-versed person altogether. So I did not imagine this specific number. I sometimes do imagine also specific numbers and feel myself into these, 30K, 80K, this type of stuff. That's a lot of fun. And I just did that because it excited me at this point. But just in general, I also felt myself into what would it be like to be really financially well-versed? How would I see things? How would I feel? What would my attitude be? Being very conscious of my reactions. Whenever there's an item that was on discount and then next to it there's a more expensive item, I just grabbed the more expensive item because I didn't want to always go for the cheapest thing. And those, external permission slips to really put myself more and more and more and more stable in a financial abundant kind of state really helped a lot. Also, I embodied the state of a successful business owner. And I got really clear on what does it, what do I even want in my business, right? Who do I want to be? Not so much focusing on what do I need to do constantly, but who am I as already being a successful business owner? And since I dwelt in that state, that had to express, right? And over the months altogether, now the compound effect basically kicked in. And now I see these results. So I practice to constantly see, and I'm still doing this, of course, seeing the world from the desired state, right? From already being this, from already having a successful business, from already being at a certain level. And again, you define what a successful business is. You define what much money is, right? It's all subjective, right? Someone can see that right now and it's like, oh, that's, that's pocket money. And someone can see that and it's like, oh, that's what I earn in 10 years. I don't know. So you have to understand, this is just, you have to think in states, right? A certain state played out for me, and you can also put yourself in a state where more money plays out for you, but it's just a state playing out. It's not to be judged. There's no high or low in a sense. It's just one state. What state are you in right now? What state do you want to be in? And then you have to occupy that new state. And what I did, right, no matter if I walked in the park, no matter if I went outside with friends, no matter if I did something outside, no matter if I was within, I tried really, whenever this whole topic came up, in general, I tried to wear this new state, to really wear this new mask, this new identity that I selected as a new piece of clothes, to really make it natural, to really have it like a habitual state, so that this again is always flowing and not just once, and then you go back to ground zero, but it's always a natural thing for me. What I also said to myself within is I'm the kind of person who. This is also like a method in a sense you can utilize, because we usually say this all the time, right? I'm the person who is this. I'm the person who always gets compliments. I'm the person who always is late. That's not me, by the way. But I'm the person who always gets this, receives this, is like this, manifests this. We usually say this to ourselves, so why not use this consciously and also tell ourselves, like, I'm the person who always is financially abundant, financially well-versed, who is super successful in business, right? Because this inner self-talk, as you know, also creates, also manifests, is also mirrored back to you. So you can see a little screenshot within this time frame of, like I said, a little bit more than like a year. So that's how I did it, right? So it's nothing magical. Again, it's something everyone can do. It's something you can do if you are a business owner, and it's also something you can do if you're not interested in business and you just want to manifest more finances. You can still embody those states. You can still manifest more salary, more income from your job, manifest a higher paying job. And I want to share some quotes with you that summarize that before I talk with you about some more tips and some problems that people perceive and my solution for that. So Neville was asked this question: I'm contemplating a business venture. It means a great deal to me, but I cannot imagine how it can come into being. Okay? And this is Neville's answer. He said, you are relieved of that responsibility. You do not have to make it a reality because it already is. This does not make sense to a rational minded person right now. How can it already be in existence? Your senses are not seeing it, so how can it be there? However, in awareness, right, in this infinite field of awareness in which all states, all identities exist in a sense, others call it like parallel realities, parallel states. You can also use that, but it already does exist because you can already imagine it. You can already feel yourself into what it would be like. You can already adopt that attitude, so it must be there. But of course, the results of that are not manifested, because the results only will be manifested once you occupy it within. But it is already in existence, so you don't have to try and become successful and try to work out a way. No, you have to bring the success state or the financially abundant state or the successful business state in the here and now. And then of course it will unfold through actions. You're probably not going to sit there and do nothing. Yes, automatic actions, impulses, actions that you can't resist will unfold, but it's not that you have to make it so. It's more so it already is so. You internally align with that state, you feel into it, you occupy it, and then you will be moved, right? And it will flow through you. That state that you internally occupied will then express through your actions and through people around you. Although your concept of self seems far removed, right? Meaning, although maybe right now you're in the complete opposite identity. Maybe right now you're lacking finances, your business, you have not started it, it's not successful. Even if it's the opposite thing that you experience right now, it still exists and it is already within you, that new desired state. And as soon as you start to make it natural, as soon as you start to feel into it, to see the world from it, to be in it, to identify with that state, it has to be reflected back to you, because that's the only function of the mirror of life. You can only confirm what you are within. So ask yourself how you would feel and what you would be doing if your business venture would be a great success. Become identified with that character. That is exactly what I said. And feeling, and you will be amazed how quickly you will realize your dream. The only sacrifice you are called upon to make is to give up the present concept of self, right? The present identity of who you right now see yourself as a person when it comes to business, when it comes to money, and appropriate the desire you want to express, right? To be in the here and now, that successful version of you, that successful business owner, that financially stable version of you. You have to bring that in the here and now so that the mirror of life can show it to you and reflect it to you. One of the greatest pitfalls in attempting to use the law of assumption is focusing your attention on things: a new home, a better job, a bigger bank balance, right? So if you, and I learned this also in my journey, you can definitely manifest specific amounts and all of that. That's fun, that's exciting. I did that as well. But I noticed later it's not always about the specific amounts, because let's just say you manifest $9,999. Would you be mad if €1 is missing for the 10K? No. So it's more so, who are you then with that money in your life? How do you feel then? What changes in your life? What would you do? What would your lifestyle be like? Instead of being like, this, this is the specific amount, for example, that I want. The righteousness is not the thing itself, but the consciousness, the feeling of already being that person, right? The identity, basically, the overarching identity that we carry with us is like a successful, financially stable person. But if 1 month you make 10K, and for example, 1 month you make $9K and $900, then you will still not be mad, right? So it's more about the overarching identity, but that has no limits, right? If you can make 10K, you can make 50, you can make 100, you can make as much money as you want. But the money is still a result of your state and of your attitude towards it. Always construct an event which you believe you would naturally encounter following the fulfillment of your desire. Kind of what I did when I manifested the first goal, the first 10K, or I imagined something that after I have that would happen when, for example, I speak about that with my parents. All right. Now, here is my advice for you to manifest a successful business. So right now, it's really specifically for people that are interested in business, in manifesting a business, starting a business, growing an already existing business. Still, if business is not relevant to you right now, you can still stay and see if maybe it spikes your interest, it spikes a desire. But if not, then this could be a point for you to be really transparent right now to not continue, because it will be business focused right now. Okay, so first of all, the first thing that we want to do is self-observation, right? Where do you dwell within right now? What is your state? What is your inner conversations like? How do you see money? How do you see yourself when it comes to business, to money, to finances, to attracting clients, all of that, right? To have a level of self-consciousness, self-awareness, so you see where do you dwell in undesirable states, because that is what we need to break, right? Like Neville said, we need to give up the old identity, but therefore we need to be aware and see where and to how much of a degree we are still identified with that old identity. Then we need to define an aim, right? We need to define, okay, who do I want to be? What is it that I want to manifest? What is it that I want to make alive in my world? So we want to get clarity on the desired state / identity, because we need to first of all select it before we then can occupy it. But if you're not even sure about what you want, then it's very hard to manifest anything. And then the last step is detachment. What I mean from that is not detaching from the outcome and just laying back and doing nothing. No, what I mean by that is detachment from the old state and attachment and shift into an identification now with the new state, putting on a new mask, looking through the new lens, making this new state natural. And some other advice points are that you can't become successful in this world. I know this will strike a nerve right now for some rational, like hyper rational minded people, but in a sense, if everything already exists now, if you think in that paradigm that creation is finished and you simply move through already existing states that you then express, you can't really become something. Of course, externally it will look like that you become it, because you go through a bridge, you do this, you work on certain projects, you get more skilled, of course, but still you can be anything that you want to be in the here and now, because it already exists. So in that sense, you can't really become successful. You can only be successful in the here and now. And then that is expressed through actions, through things you do, through people entering your world, through all of that, right? But be it now. Be successful, be financially abundant, be that successful business owner, be that internally now. And then you'll see that this brings new inspired actions to you. So get clear on what implies to you personally that your business is successful, right? What is your goal? Don't look at me. Don't look at someone from the internet. What do you want? Right? What is right now what is exciting you about money? What is exciting you about your business? What do you want to express? Right? Is it that you want to, have a kind of like purposeful business? Is it that you just want to have like anything and make money? It's pretty irrelevant. The question is, what do you want right now? And if it's a successful business, then that is a state that you can occupy, that you can shift into, and that has to express once you're in it. And I would again not focus so much on the state itself, but something that is implying, if you go for the imaginary scene technique, something that is implying that you are already in that state, right? Like a congratulation, like something you would do in your day-to-day life that right now you can't do, you're not doing. So ask yourself, instead of what do I need to do, right, or to increase my business success, right, ask yourself, who am I as a successful business owner? That was a huge shift for me. In the beginning, I was 100% focused on the actions, like doing this, doing more, doing more, doing more, doing more. Later on, it shifted more like, okay, how do I embody more that already successful business owner, right? How do I feel myself more into it, which automatically brought like new inspirations, new actions, new impulses to me, and of course, new results. But instead of focusing all the time on what do I need to do to get it, I invite you to ask yourself, how does it feel right now? Who am I right now as an already successful business owner to activate that internal state in the here and now? Because your mirror of life cannot confirm what you try to become. It can only confirm who you already are within right now. And a tip that might seem very shallowy, but I still brought it in here, is focus on the basics, right? Keep it simple and be authentic. That is same for your manifestation approach as well for your business, right? Focus on the basics, meaning master your craft, be authentic, don't scam people, provide value, help others, master the art of marketing, master the art of selling, and focus on the basics, right? Keep it simple. If you have like 20 products, well, how do you want to scale? How do you want to grow? But I'm a big fan of keeping things very minimalistic, very easy, having a nice overview. The more you do, the more you will overwhelm yourself. It is the same for manifestation techniques, right? The more you try to do, then the more your mind gets cluttered, and then you reach this point of overwhelmation where just nothing happens. So focus on the basic things, focus on the basic principles on how to shift states. I teach them on this channel. Keep it simple, apply things step by step. In your business, keep things simple and focus actually on, increasing your profits, and also be authentic, right? Be you, don't try to copy someone. Be you, make your own style. Express your own thoughts. People will notice that. People will notice when you just act a certain role. And this brings me right now to this favorite illustration that I share very often on the channel, as you know, which is this state shift illustration, right? Where we see you on this side right now in your current internal state, and no matter what that is, no matter at which level you are right now, with your current business results, your current money and financial results. And then on the right side, we see portrayed your desires, right? Who you want to be, what you want to manifest, what you want to make alive in your world. And the thing is, most people try to reach their desires, to reach their goals from this state. So they do all the affirmations, all the things, all the actions that they do externally, still from their old state, their old identity. If they're in an identity of I only make like $2,000 a month, if they're still in the consciousness of that, in the identity of that, but they try more, eventually they will come back to that. And that's a very painful process that I was in for a very long time in the beginning of my journey. Once I really occupied that new state, that new outlook on life, that new attitude, that new identity, wearing consciously that new mask of like this certain level of success business owner, then my life could actually reflect back the new state, and new actions started to come from that state. And this is why this is my favorite quote from Neville, where he said, if you know how to move from your present state, if you dislike it, so if right now you desire more, to the state you want to externalize, like to your desired reality, then you have the secret. Then you can apply the law of assumption for any aspect of your life. And this is the point right now where if you're still watching this, which would show me that you're interested in manifesting more money and more business success, then this is the point right now where I want to talk with you about the top 5 problems that people perceive while doing that. The top 5 business owner problems when manifesting more business success, more money, and then afterwards my solution on that. So one thing I noticed, one thing that happened to me for a very long time is being stuck on a plateau and not being able to scale up. But in a sense, staying stuck on the same level of finances, the same level of income, and no matter how much more you try, it's still that same level, which of course has all to do with the identity, right? Who you are, how you see yourself as a business owner. That's one problem, okay? Second problem is being exhausted or frustrated because of massive actions. And this is dangerous. This is kind of dangerous because when we then get frustrated because nothing is happening, we try more, we do more, we think, oh, we need to do more right now. We see all of these people do all of these things and we try to copy their actions. Our internal state is not matched, and then we start to burn ourselves out because we still internally operate from that old state. And that's not working. We're going to fall back. Because you can't outwork your concept of self. You can't outwork your internal state. So if you're in one state and you try to do all of these actions to manifest something, but your state has not changed, then it's not going to work. Also, big thing I see is that people try to always find the next holy strategy, right? What is the next thing I can implement in my business, right? And they end up in this black hole of tactics and action steps. So now it's AI, and then it was chatbots, and then it's this, and then it's this, and then it was this, and then it's funnels, and just all of it, right? There are many tactics, and of course all of them have their right to exist. All of them work. But if you only focus on the external actions, again, it all ties again to this state shift. But you're always just searching, like, what is the next thing that can help you? What is the next thing that helps you? Well, that's an indication that you're not in a successful state yet. Because if you are, then you will automatically start to resonate with certain tactics, implement them, they will help you. But the question is, from which state does it come? Does it come from a lack state of trying to make something happen? Or does it come from an abundant state of already being and of already having certain amounts of success? Also, not feeling worthy, not charging properly, a messed up money mindset, and being not connected to your internal abundance. That's a very big one, especially for business owners. If you don't feel worthy, if you constantly question yourself, like, can I offer this? Will people invest in me? Do people see the value in me? Then if you ask yourself this, if you are in a state where this is not the case, then you will perceive a world, you will look through the lens where this is not the case, where you don't get results. But also not charging properly because you don't value yourself enough, you don't value your service, then your business can also not grow. Messed up money mindset is a big one, and also not connected to financial abundance, and also to abundance in general, right? To this abundant being, to this abundant awareness that you are behind your thoughts, behind your emotions, behind your perceptions, right? That awareness, that I am, that Neville talked about. The more you connect with that, the more you see that you are an infinitely abundant treasure of all of these states, the more easier it is to accept abundance, to accept financial abundance, instead of always operating out of lack. And last but not least, being completely isolated and having no like-minded people around you that you can connect with, that you can express, that you can share your struggles with, that can support you, that you can learn from, and that are there to empower you. Or if you're just there in your own bubble, everyone around you is not in the same space and you're just trying to make something happen, but you cannot talk with people that have done it, that have achieved the successes that you want to achieve. It can be a lonely journey. I'm not saying that it does not work, but it's just not nice. It's just a problem I observed and I encountered as well in my own journey. And these are the problems, but probably there are more, but these are all the ones that I encountered. These are all the ones that the people that I work with encountered. And these are the ones that you can, of course, overcome. And now this is the part where I would like to introduce to you the Upgrade Your Life Mastermind. So this is specifically for business owners, also for people that have the desire to manifest and grow a successful business, right? So no matter if you're just getting started, you're interested in this topic and your desire is, yes, I also want to have like my own business, I want to have my own thing, or if you already have your own thing, but you kind of experience some of these problems that I previously shared and you finally want to eliminate them, this is perfectly for you. So what is that mastermind? Why have I created that? Isn't that the same as like my program? Some people ask that, and I want to tell you that right now in a straight to the point way. If you want more information on the mastermind, you can very easily simply check out the link in the video description and pinned comments. There I prepared a video for you that is explaining this mastermind in way more detail and shows you how it works, what's inside, what's the dynamic of it, and all of that. But here's a summary, all right? So first of all, yes, there is a difference from my program that I usually offer and this mastermind. This mastermind has only limited spots. This mastermind only happens like a couple of times per year, where I have like a new wave of people that I basically let into this mastermind. It's very small, it's very individual, very personal. The program is as well. But it's simply that in this mastermind, there are only people with one main shared desire, which is money and business success. So that's a big difference here. And this mastermind has a goal. So everyone in the mastermind is basically sharing some goals. One goal is consistent 5 figures and of course more per month. So I have people that are doing 5 figures. I have people that are starting out. I have people that manifested 180K like Yang. So it all already happened. I'm in the mastermind. So there is a mixture of people, but they're all interested in the subject of business. They're all interested in Neville's teachings and the law of assumption, of course, right? And most of them kind of like even have a purposeful business. Some people have a business that they're just also interested about it. They just like to do. So it's a nice mixture of people in there. And another goal is, of course, also that this is not being manifested and forced into being in a stressful way, but that this is achieved via ease, via happiness, via a certain, level of flow, where things automatically flow from the new state that we're going to occupy, which is that new version of you, that 2.0 version of you, that internally already successful business owner that is on a certain level of business success, which is then going to unfold through new actions, right? So that's the goal of this mastermind. We have some guiding principles that you can see here that we all basically live by in this mastermind. And now the big question is, what is included? And is it something different than my program? And I have to say, yes, it is something different. First of all, because of the dynamics, why the dynamic is kind of different. It's more small. And also it is specifically like condensed and focused only on the topic of business. The program is if you want to manifest any goal, if you want to apply Neville's teachings, master the art of state shifting, apply the law of assumption principles, become more peaceful, become more self-conscious. This is like the foundation. So the program is very important for the foundation to really understand all of that. And then the mastermind is simply for people that say, okay, now that I really like Neville, that I really like manifesting, and I want to manifest the business, how do I do that specifically for this area of life? Because I noticed that all areas, relationships, SP, health, money, like everything has its own nuances. And of course, we also cover that in the program. But specifically for business, all the nuances are put in this mastermind. And it consists of 6 modules. What we talk about in the mastermind is, first of all, the connection between you and your business / financial success. Like, we're going to point out that your business is a manifestation of you, that your business reflects back the state and the attitude that you have towards money, towards business, towards clients, towards success. We're going to show you like how does that work. Also, we're going to define together what does business success mean to you, right? Who do you want to be? What is important to you in your life? How do you want your business to be? Because the more clear that is defined, the easier it is to shift into that and to manifest that. We're going to talk about how you can establish this new self-concept, right? How do you establish and really strengthening this new identity, especially that you don't fall out of it. Because this is what I explained in my journey, is that, I occupied that state, but sometimes I'll fall out. But then it's important to nurture it, right? To dwell back again in it. So how do you do that? What do you do when people cancel your offer? Just all of that, right? That happens to business owners. Also, how do you break the link between massive actions and your monetary results? This is a huge point that opened eyes for a lot of members in this mastermind, because this is such a deeply woven in us, established, conditioned belief that the more we do, the more success we get. But that's not true, because there is a time limit, but still there are people that in a day make 10x of what other people do. So it has to do with where they stand within and how they see success and money and business. So we're going to break the link between actions and your results. We're going to talk about how you can be magnetic, right? How can you create a state, an aura where people want to work with you, where you're kind of like sought after, where people really like your offer, where you can create something from value that people really want to participate in, and strengthen also your relationship to money so that you have a healthy money mindset when it comes to money, prices, and all of that. And last but not least, I want to talk about how can you enjoy this success, because what I noticed in my journey, what many people notice, is that they're then so lost in their business that every other life area starts to suffer. So what can we do so that your life in general, like holistically, is great and you enjoy it, so that you have a successful business, but also your life is on a really high level? And that's the mastermind. So simple, straight to the point. If your desire is to manifest money, business success, more clients, more revenue, grow and manifest a successful business, then I invite you to click the link in the video description and pin comments, where I'm going to explain to you how this mastermind works, what is inside. And if it resonates with you, you can do the next step, which is scheduling a call and see if we are a good fit. And if not, at least you'll learn on how you can improve your money mindset and your business, because that is all explained in this video. And that's it, right? That was the 2% of advertisement in this video. The rest was simply like value and information and tips and insights, what I learned from working with all of these people. And that's pretty much it. So if you can already apply what's in this video, you should already see movement when it comes to money and business. And if you want to take it to the next level, be with like-minded people, have me in your corner, be in this mastermind with weekly calls, those modules, and a private community, then of course, check it out. I invite you. We are right now open for enrollment, and there are only 6 spots available. When those 6 spots are filled up, I will close it again for probably the next 6 months. So it has right now a certain number of people that can come in, which is 6 people. So if that is you, if that made you interested, then I invite you to check it out. After those 6 people, it will close again. All right. So that's it. Thank you really much for watching. This was a longer video with a lot of content, a lot of insights. I hope it helped you. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, any feedback, any insights. If your desire is business, money, if you want more videos on that, if you want more videos on the general application of the law. But I felt like that this is right now the perfect time to talk about this, since I'm opening up a new wave for this mastermind. 6 spots are available. Secure your spot if you like to, and if not, then I see you in the next one. Bye, guys.